Andy, well done after a challenging few days. Where do you place that result?
Yeah, huge result. We knew we had to, come to a really tough place, a team that's in a good moment. So yeah, we had to show fight, we had to show determination, we had to dig in at times, and then obviously we get the penalty at the end. So we obviously, the clean sheet was crucial for us tonight, and then we go and score the goal. So a perfect night for us, and a big 3 points.
And VAR, the handball looked as though that might have been harsh, and the penalty looked as though it might have been a bit soft.
Yeah, look, the handball for me, if it takes, I think it took maybe 7 or 8 minutes to get to a conclusion. If you do that, I think you have to stick with the on-field decision. That's my opinion. It can't be taking that long and everyone hanging around and things like that. So I think if it takes that long for the ref and the VAR to make a decision, then I think you've got to stick to what the decision is. And the penalty, it looked soft. It did look soft, but anybody else in the pitch, it probably gets given. And thankfully we got that one. Defiance,
resolve. Would it be fair to say the manager needed that performance?
Look, we all needed it. I don't think the club as a whole needed it. I think we know we're in not the best moment. We know the results haven't been good enough. We know the performances haven't been good enough. So it's important that this club is in the Champions League. And when you have to compete in it, because people that support us expect us to go far in it. So we need to up our performances to get through, and then to hopefully build momentum. So it was a huge result for all of us.
And as a senior player, what do you make of Mo's comments? He's not here. It's a tough situation the club's in.
Yeah, look, a tough situation, obviously. Like we're talking about, for me, one of the greatest players to ever play with this club. He's been unbelievable for us. 8.5 years. I signed the same window as him, and we've been through so many highs, so many lows, and yeah, look, whatever's happening happens. Obviously internally now, and we're all together. That's the main thing in the changing room, and I think you've seen that today.
Can it be resolved? Can he be back in a red shirt?
That'll be, that'll obviously be up to other people. It's not up to me, But I love playing with Mo Salah, and I hope to continue to play with him.
And final word, you're into the top 8. That's what tonight has done as well. In terms of the stakes in this competition, that's a crucial win.
Yeah, of course. We know how important being in that top 8 is, and avoid a playoff in terms of, an extra 2 games and things like that. We managed to do that last season. Probably got really unlucky with the draw last season after finishing top. So, look, that's our aim. Of course it is. That was aim at the start of the season, and it doesn't change now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, top man. Thank you.
Andy Robertson there acknowledging what a big win it is for them in terms of their prospects of finishing in the top 8, but also you'd imagine after the few days they've just had, how huge that is for morale for Liverpool, Luis.
Yeah, it's massive. I think that it was such an important win. We talked about it during the pre-show, and coming here against a very difficult team, changing after what they went through the week, and arriving here with a different system, a lot of players injured, not many waiting to play on the second half on the bench, and they show what. And I think that Clarence made a mention when we were on the ban. Is in these games is when the big teams show up, and today I think Liverpool did it in a great style.
Well, they've had big wins against big teams this season, haven't they? It's often the lower teams that they've kind of struggled, but actually, is that a bounce result? Is that a result tonight and a performance that can be a pivot, a turning point for Liverpool this season?
I don't know if you remember last year I said Liverpool peaked too early in the season, and I'd rather see a team struggle until January and then really start peaking. They did a good job today. I think the game plan was on point, trying to press high when you could, be low and compact in defense. Inter had difficulty and not the need to go and push for a goal. So that's why at the end it was unlucky for Inter that because of a penalty they're losing this match. But I think for Liverpool this is great morale, good 3 points. Still a lot of work to do. I don't think there was a lot of, let's say, interesting interactions up front. But as a whole, the way they performed, the competitiveness that this was, the compactness of the team, I think that is a good side to go then forward with for Arne Slot.
I'm sure there's a lot of relief for Arne Slot, Daniel, as well. But also, it changes the direction of travel of the narrative post-match, doesn't it, that win, in terms of what the conversation will be now about what has happened over the last few days?
Well, I think as a football club and as players and staff, you want to move on as quick as possible. I think tonight allows them to do that in a positive way. And for all parties involved, this is what everyone wants, for Liverpool to be winning football matches. And that's the most important thing above everything, is that the teams, performing and giving their absolute all on the field, which they did today. It was a difficult game for them. And yeah, like Robbo said, it's a difficult moment for the team that they're having to fight through, something that they're not used to it. This isn't something that's happened in the last sort of 4 or 5 years where it's been really bad. So they're going to go home tonight feeling really proud, positive mentality going into the next game. But the key is now, as a footballer, and as we know, your mentality does switch. Once you get on the plane, it's kind of like the game's finished and you're on to the next. So now it's about enjoying tonight, but knowing that you've got a massive game at the weekend, and there's still going to be talk about the situation at the weekend if the result's not positive. Daniel, but tonight's great.
Don't you think that it could be a softener tonight about you win now and people will think, we don't need Mo Salah anymore because we won everything? And I think that it could arrive to the middle ground to say, listen, it's moment to talk to Mo, to have an understanding what is happening, what he's feeling, and then try to have a nice approach to try, because again, the season is very long and players like Mo Salah are going to be very, very needed.
Mo Salah is needed by the football club. He's a top player, world-class football player, and he's done something, that he probably regrets. Well, I'm sure he does regret it. But I think long term, the team will inevitably, he's 33 years of age, are going to have to move on at some point. But I don't think now is the time.
Yeah, I think move on when he's not here.
Yeah, well, I think
use him as much as you can while he's here, right? Because that has happened with Manchester United, has happened with AC Milan. They were too early to say, okay, we need to change. Until he's performing, these guys are fundamental to keep in the team. I think that this win today will actually put Slot in a position where he can on an equal basis talk with Salah, because obviously it is a heavy moment for the coach to have such a big player come out like this. Mo Salah will for sure come back and apologize. I don't expect anything else from him. But I also think that Slot now will have maybe a different feeling and just try to bring him back.
Does it put him on the front foot, Slot, in those conversations?
Well, no, I think for any player, like let's not talk about Salah now. Sometimes when you put big players on the bench and you have a victory, it also humbles that player, and it maybe triggers him to show, okay, now I need to also step up my game or whatever I can improve, right? So I think for both sides, this was a good result. It will humble Salah in the sense that, reality is that every player is replaceable, yeah. But on the long run, like you said, I want to have Mo Salah on the team, definitely, because my season is long, and when I have to play against the big teams every 2 weeks.
But also, he's going to be watching at home, wishing he was here, wishing he could have helped.
Watching Dominic Szoboszlai step up for a penalty that he would have taken.
Yeah, but like you say, in the moment, right? There's a level of reflection because it's so raw now and it's so fresh. It's hard to reflect on the situation. We're in it, and I think for him, as a player who, for me, we've all been through ups and downs, you know what I mean? And some of it's by our own doing, some of it's not by our own doing. I think for Mo right now, he wants to help the team get back to where they are, where they've been, which was at the top. And I think watching what's happened, you want to be part of it. You at home, you sat there, and this goes for players who are injured, for players who are in situation. The last thing you want to do is not be part of it. And I think that's going to, of course, be hurting him because he knows he loves playing for this football club. I know, but I know this. Yeah. Mo's told me, I love playing for this football club. I don't want to leave this football club. This is where I want to be. He wants to be a Liverpool player, but he wants to play. At the end of the day, the manager has a decision.
So you know him. Do you think he will apologise?
I think they will have a conversation. I can't speak for Mo and what he's going to do. I don't know how he's going to feel on that. But I think, like Clarence has said, there needs to be another conversation between the manager and Mohamed Salah, and it needs to be resolved, for me, in a positive way, because the club need him on the pitch. Positive, confident, being a leader in the camp. He's achieved everything possible at the football club.
And I believe he deserves a chance, and I think this is where he has the credits. I think he has never come out in such a strong way in all the time that he's been in Liverpool. I mean, I don't remember.
I mean, no, he has he has it in other ways.
Yeah, but
not
nothing
in
like this. Nothing like this. I mean, that happens all the time when it's contract-wise. I mean, the game comes from both sides, right? Because also the clubs play their game. But in this sense, I think this is where he has to have the credits and a little bit of respect to, okay, it was not the right way, but let's sit and talk. Yeah?
His captain is coming down to have a word with us. Virgil van Dijk will no doubt be also feeling that sense of relief tonight, and not just because of the last few days, but because that does put Liverpool in a much stronger position in terms of qualifying in that top 8 position, which means they avoid a couple of extra matches in February, which I'm sure every Premier League manager would cash in if they could. Virgil, thank you so much for joining us at the desk. We're just going to hand you a microphone. There you go. You didn't see that, did you? Nothing to see there. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Is relief the overwhelming emotion in terms of tonight's result after the last couple of days that you've had?
Well, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling of winning, especially in the period we are in. Trying to find consistency, trying to find something to build on, and hopefully tonight is one of those performances. Obviously, it's never easy to come here against a very good side, like we all know. So it was always going to be tough, but I think we handled the game well. Maybe it could have been a 0-0 game in the end, but obviously it ended positively for us for once in the last couple of weeks.
As a collective, how much did you discuss how you put aside the noise that is going on outside of your unit at the moment?
Well, it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. There's obviously so much noise from the outside world, what is absolutely normal, especially if you don't perform, especially under the circumstances, and then it's absolutely deserved as well. But it's down to us to perform on the pitch, because that's the only thing what we can control. And we want to improve, we want to be consistent, we want to win games. We have the quality to do so, but we're not doing it to not as much as we like, and it's just trying to stick together, be a unit like we always have been, and that's also what Liverpool stands for, in my opinion.
You said after the Nottingham Forest game that you need your leaders like Mo Salah on the pitch. Mo Salah didn't travel to Milan today. We all know why. For you, how tough has that been as a captain to deal with?
Obviously, it's difficult, but it's a collective difficult situation. Well, we all in, and obviously between Mo and the club, things are going on. And obviously for the consequences, he's not here today to help us try to get the three points, and that's the reality. But I don't think anything changes in terms of our focus, our determination in order to get results for the football club.
Daniel was just saying he would have been watching that, wanting to be part of this performance and be part of this tonight. Does an apology from him go some way to having a conversation with the manager? Does he need to apologise, do you think?
I don't think I'm the one to speak about if someone has to apologise for anything. I think it's him airing his feelings over the last couple of days, and that's something that the club has to deal with, and obviously we as well. But if I look at the dressing room, when I say yesterday, because or Sunday, the day after, I think nothing really has changed. The task was that we have responsibility not only to ourselves, but to the whole football club and to all our fans in the world to perform. So the focus was there. Nothing else. Nothing has changed. He trained as well, by the way, on like you all saw.
You cannot say it, but I can say it. I think he should apologize, not so much because of what he said, but the decision to go out that, creates a difficult environment inside and all the extras that you don't need at the moment. And I'm saying this as a big fan of Mo Salah, because I think he's a great professional, a great player. But as a captain, are you going to play a role in trying to bring peace again? Because this is such a delicate moment of the season, right?
It is. Well, the reality also is that Mo is going to Africa on the weekend.
That is also true.
So there's an urgency.
So you don't have a lot of time.
The thing is, I know Mo for such a long time. We are good friends. We've been through highs and lows. He's been a big part of the success I've had at the club in my football career. I've been a big part of his success. like we all are part of Liverpool Football Club such as well.
Yeah.
So, it's we speak, and that those type of things will stay indoors,
Of
like
course.
it should be, and we have to, and I mean we as a team and players, and we have to brace ourselves only and be ready for be against the outside noise. That's the only thing we have to be ready for, and that's the only thing I encourage the players to do so.
Virg, again, we played together, and addressing the highs and lows as a footballer, tonight it's a high, right? You've won a game after a difficult week and a difficult moment, right? And then the lows are the previous performances you've had, and my former teammate and your current teammate, who's a big leader in the group, isn't part of things right now. Talk to me about what it is for you and for the camp dealing with the highs and lows amidst the volatility.
Well, I think the most important thing is obviously you speak with each other. Obviously, like, you can understand everyone is happy, but the reality is that you have to recover. Like, immediately back to Brighton already. Like, it's obviously you have to celebrate good moments, and you have to enjoy this as well, because otherwise, what's the point of winning? You know what I mean? So, but the focus is already like we stay overnight here. You have to do all the right things. You have to sleep well, eat well, because Brighton is coming to Anfield. And I think we've played Brighton for so many years, and it's always a difficult game. So what we're trying to achieve is never get too high, never get too low. And that's where you have to speak with each other. And obviously it's easy to say, but to act like it and to try and do it, that's the most difficult part. And if we do that, then we will get the consistency back that we had last year, because that's why we became champions. But that's the thing what we aim for.
Virgil, I wanted to ask you, because everyone is, we're talking a lot about what happened in the past, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened today. You look so solid, so confident. Did that change, or you felt different because of the system, or because you felt more comfortable with more people in the middle, you left a little bit the wide areas? Did that change or give you a little bit more of confidence at the back? You look, I mean, today the team controlled very well the whole game.
I think that was against Leeds for 60 minutes as well. But obviously, like, when you don't win games, when you lose games, when you concede easy goals at times, what we have done, and Arne was part of that as well, then obviously the outside world will focus a lot more on those type of things. But we try to find consistency. But today, obviously, we all know that they are very comfortable on the ball. They have two strikers that are very well played on each other, so we needed Ryan in front of us to either take a man that's dropping into midfield or the pass line. But the rest up front, I think everyone put a shift in, everyone runs so hard, defended well, but in the end it could have been a 0-0, but it is what it is. We take the 3 points and we move on.
Your manager's coming into the studio in just a second. I don't know, he's wandering onto the pitch, but he will come in here in a moment. Could just ask you about the two goals, the disallowed, the penalty. Andy Robertson said a little bit soft, the penalty a little bit harsh, the disallowed a little bit harsh?
Yeah, well, listen, it goes so fast, so I have no idea if it actually hit his arm. But what I said, and also said to the ref, I think when referees make a decision like this, it has to be clear and obvious. And for it to take that long,
5 minutes.
First the VAR and then himself, it's already like you're looking for something that, could be there, could not be there. So I don't think it helps the game, but it is what it is.
I said the same, by the way.
Yeah, no,
it shouldn't take so long. It's annoying, right?
Because obviously, like, everyone is guessing, everyone is waiting, everyone's looking and discussing with each other. And
I'm curious, because I didn't play with VAR like this, of course. Does it break the rhythm?
Of course, if you stop the game for 5 minutes, you definitely break the rhythm.
The momentum
And
did
also,
shift, didn't it, a little bit at
like
that
Inter
point,
was quite good after that as well.
You were definitely on top.
On the pressure as well, so.
Your manager's waiting, so you might want to play use that as a baton, hand it over to him, because he's looking down here, and he was looking like he was going to get in. Thank you so much. Probably wants you to go and do your rest and recovery ahead of Brighton at the weekend. There is Arne Slot. Yeah, take the mic for him. Thanks. I'll get him to do my lifting, Virgil. Virgil van Dijk, they're very honest and candid, as we've always experienced with him coming to the desk and addressing the big issues that Liverpool have had to deal with this season of inconsistency. And Arne Slot big smile on his face, because that's a big win for Liverpool tonight. Congratulations, Arne. That was a big win. It was a big win for many reasons. Let's deal with the footballing reasons first, because that puts you in the top 8 tonight, and those points could be at the end of the reckoning of the league phase very important in terms of finishing in the top 8.
Yeah, of course. We were 3 points behind Inter. And apart from that, if you want to end top 8, I think 15 points is the minimum you need. So, the best thing you can do then is win over here, which wasn't easy because they have a very good team, started the season really well. But I think overall a good performance from us.
Yeah, and you set the team up differently tonight. There was, of course, pre-match, Lewis and I were chatting about the importance of the midfield helping the defence in terms of their job. Did you see that tonight, and were you pleased with that midfield performance?
Yeah, definitely. Although the midfield is always helping the defence a lot. But like you said, I think there was a lot of commitment from the players. Second half, I think we pressed a bit higher and more aggressive than we did in the first half. That had also to do with the changes they've made. So in the first half we decided to keep a +1 in the back. But in the first half they made a few changes, so it didn't feel right to do the second half still do this, because Akanji went a few times all the way into the midfield. So we pressed them higher, but when we were outplayed, all 11 players came behind the ball, trying to make sure we didn't concede. And we were already a few times close, I think, to score. Which we didn't, although we did score, but that one was disallowed. And in the end we got a penalty.
And the penalty was taken by Dominik Szoboszlai. His first penalty for Liverpool. Your normal penalty taker is back at home. And I know you've spoken a lot about Mo Salah in the last 24 hours. Does that result lead to relief from you in terms of what has happened over the last day?
If you mean the 3-3 against Leeds and the draw against Sunderland, then you're correct. Then it's a relief. But that is something different than what you were just describing.
So you can't separate what's happened. That still is.
I separate these things. Yeah. I think it was really hard for the players to concede in the last minute against Leeds, where, in my opinion, we already played a very good game. We hardly conceded a chance. That's in the last 4 games in general. We've hardly conceded a chance. To go away there with 3 goals conceded and a draw was really hard to take, and then that was already emotional. Then what happened afterwards was emotional, I think, as well. Cost maybe a little bit of energy. 4th game in 10 days, 13 outfield players available that have Premier League or Champions League experience. That shows you, I think, the resilience.
The energy
you
talk about that it took away, not just from you. You think it took energy away from the group as well? What has happened over there?
We should ask them, but like I said, conceding the 3-3 in extra time is already a big blow after the week we had, because we were so close of picking up 7 points out of 3 games. Then you concede. Then of course there's a lot of things being said, and I think that always affects a team a little bit as well. If you've been in the dressing room, you know, okay, it's about a player with the manager, but or with the club, but that normally affects players a bit as well, especially because he's been so influential for the club and for the players. So it's never nice, I think, to see something happens like this to one of their teammates.
Would you like to sit down and have communication with Mo Salah before he goes off to AFCON at the weekend?
I think tonight it should be all about what we've done over here in a stadium like this against Inter winning. All the focus should be on that tonight, and I can fully understand if I go Friday again into the press conference that all questions will be about Mo, but I think these players deserve now that we speak about them.
Well, I don't exactly agree on that, because
you're a journalist now.
Yeah. And I mean, we have obviously great respect for you and Mo Salah and everything, and we don't want to be polemic. But it's also to understand, because there's a lot of assumption made by us as well. Do you have the intention though to bring him back? Like, because that is our view, right? I would love to see that happen, because everybody makes mistakes in life, things happen, and you always have the spirit. What is your spirit, which we can...
Yeah, but then you say everyone makes mistakes in life, so the first thing should be, does the player think he's made a mistake as well?
But how are you going to know that if you don't talk with him? So you're going to talk with him to understand that?
I haven't said that I'm not going to talk to him. I just said that the focus should be
I know.
And then the next question is, should the initiative come from me or from him? Now, that's another question to answer. But as I said, the focus for tonight should be about, for example, Virgil, because the fans are singing for him. But not only Virgil, I think Ibu Konate, he's had maybe a few difficult moments recently, but he played an outstanding game today as well against two very good strikers.
No, the team has performed definitely. We all agree on the fact you were very compact and everything. You know, the curiosity here, Arne, because we know how important the rest of the season will be.
Yeah.
And that's why this topic is important, not because we want to talk about the polemics, but you just said something very important. Your players here perform very well.
Yeah.
You're laughing.
It's going in another angle.
Yeah, because it's you have shaped a team from last year, taking over from a very nice run they had. All the goodies came. Last year I said you guys peaked too early in the Champions League. Right. This year it's struggling a little bit more.
I don't think we peaked too early. We had bad luck that after ending up first, we had a draw against
That's
PSG.
True. That's true.
And we peaked against them because we were the only team that brought them to penalties. So yeah, I don't think we peaked too early, but unfortunately we had to play a team.
And that was already a final practically.
Practically, although afterwards they had with Arsenal and Aston Villa some difficult opponents as well. But like I said, we were the only one who could bring them to penalties last season, and unfortunately we were not able to win against them. But they deserved to win it in the end because they had a fantastic season with so many good players.
I just wanted to share what I said, so you don't have to answer anything. I said that I believe that the team, the club, and the coach, when a player is hurt for whatever reason, right, wrong, whatever, should make the first step and open the door for him to then see what is happening. This is was my comment.
Yeah. Okay, that's your opinion.
So So I'll see what's going to happen.
Daniel,
anyway, good luck with it.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I'd love the situation to be resolved with Mo. I love Mo and love the club, and would love for you to repair the relationship with him. That would be great. On tonight, defensively, Arne, how impressed were you with your team's commitment in the defensive phase? Clean sheet in the Champions League against a very difficult opponent, playing away from home. How do you feel about that tonight?
I think I've said a few times already after the PSV and Nottingham Forest game where we've conceded 7 goals in 2 games. I think it was time for us to concede less, and I think that's what we did afterwards. So the first game against West Ham, we had a clean sheet, conceded the first chance in the 90th minute. Then we played Sunderland where we conceded the first chance in the 96th minute because when they scored, that wasn't even a chance. Leeds hardly created a chance against us, scored a set piece, got a penalty from the VAR and made a good goal. And tonight, again, I think there was only one header from, I think it was Lautaro who headed it, great save from Ali. And a free kick that came close. For the rest, I think I saw a performance from a team that worked really hard, showed a lot of resilience after another disappointment because I think the goal we scored on another night, that would have been a goal. That was maybe the only 5, 6, 7 minutes afterwards where we struggled, but we showed character in the second half. We changed a little bit the tactics, and we did really well.
So could I just ask one more question? Sorry, the creative chemistry. You've got a lot of games coming up, and you've got a lot of new attackers. You of course lose Mo to AFCON. With the games being so quick, how do you plan to build on the chemistry, whether it be on the training field? Is it via video, or how do you plan to do that?
No, it's mainly then video, what you can use. Although Saturday we play, and I think then we have a week off. Not a week off. We can train a week before we play Tottenham away. I think there's again a week in between before we play at home against Wolves. I'm not 100% sure. So there is a bit more training time coming up.
There, your fixture list's up there.
Okay.
There you go.
I was right.
You're right.
Wolves, no, but I think it's not common in football that you play 4 games in 10 days. It's not common to play 3 games in 7. And that's what we had to deal with only 13 outfield players available tonight. If I exclude our very talented players that we also brought to this game, but all 3 of them have no Premier League or Champions League experience. And Conor Bradley suspended on the weekend, so another challenge coming up because Brighton had a week to prepare for us, and we've got a few days for them now.
Your press officer is giving me daggers, so I'm going to have to
Sorry,
let you
mate.
go. But Lewis wanted to ask you a question, well, but sorry, I have to save it
Next
for
one.
next time.
Next time.
Thank you very much for coming out to speak to us and for fronting up on everything. I know it's been a very difficult 24 hours, and of course, Arne Slot has been asked ad nauseum about Mo Salah, and really he didn't want to go down that road tonight, but you took on the peacemaker there. I could see you in the room actually, sitting between the pair. I think that's
this is easy. People make things bigger than they are. Seriously,
you can do this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he spoke about emotion. The draw, late draws, the results.
By the way, that noise there, that is the Liverpool fans who are still here for Arne Slot. They see Arne Slot just there, and
I mean,
they're
how
cheering
can
him.
anything change after 9 years of Mo Salah? How can anything change with somebody who just actually won the Premier League and they're struggling a little bit? If there's any club that will be united, it's Liverpool in the world, right? That is what we expect. So I really expect that they will embrace this moment and say, okay, let's now internally solve this and talk it out.
It seemed, from what he said to me then, that there's a willingness for him to have a conversation if it's initiated on Mo's side, which I assume, knowing Mo, he'd be happy to have that conversation.
I'm
and
sure.
hopefully the situation gets resolved in a positive way, because having an available and hungry, determined Mohamed Salah is what you want in your squad. You want him coming back from AFCON, flying, fit and looking good.
We got all our answers. The captain said he's good with Mo. We talk. That's going to happen. The captain will make sure that Mo will make the step if that is the request from coach and club. That's what I believe. But you'll tell me, you're the inside man. So.
I don't know. Hey, listen, you're Dutch. I don't know, you're Dutch, bro.
I think too many insights. It's as easy as get the phone, give a ring and just chat and meet at some point. So I think that it will be easy to, if they want, just to get along and to try to find a solution to this one, because again, Mo Salah and Liverpool has been at that for many years, and hopefully we can see it for a bit more.
Okay, shall we go back to tonight and what was on the pitch and became, in the end, the decisive moment? It was, of course, the penalty. And Andy Robertson himself said it was a little bit soft. I think you probably all agree with that.
We all agree. Clarence wasn't happy at all. Because it's true that when you slow down the picture, everything looks even worse. At that stage, we saw, it's a pull, but it's nothing happening. And then VAR comes along, and there you go. There is a pull from behind, Bastoni, and then in slow motion, it's like 1, 2, 3 seconds. That's not that bad. But when you go on TV, that's what you see, and it looks like a very soft penalty. But in the end, it's a decision that the referee has to make. Is an interpretation. An interpretation. It was penalty for.
Yeah, the defender should not do that.
No,
Was
I
not
think
needed.
it's a massive mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it was
back.
not needed at all. But definitely a light decision.
No, those decisions happen all the time, you know. I'm actually joking, Lewis. That was a. You rarely see penalties like that, but that's the stroke of luck you need.
Yeah,
You know, these are the times when things aren't going your way, and you're expecting, you know, we've had the header chalked off now. Look at this, you know, it's not going to be our day again, and you get a decision like that.
So they kind of cancelled each other out.
Yeah, but you again, you know, you're excited and you're happy that you've now got a decision so late in the game after all the hard work you've done through the match. You've now got that decision that allows you to get a result.
Danny, you think that the referee, when he went back to the VAR, thought a little bit about what happened in the first 45, in that penalty, that he thought, I was doubting about it because they spent 5 minutes. He went there, he has to take a decision, and the decision is not right, actually. It's difficult to take it. And when he got that one, that influenced a little bit on the decision. Because it's really a
referee
soft
coming
one.
as well? That would be a great thing.
Dominic Szoboszlai slotted that beautifully, that penalty, his first for Liverpool. He's been involved in 10 goals this season, and more than any other player in terms of 5 goals, 5 assists. He has been one of the shining lights for Liverpool this season.
He's been brilliant. You know, I think last season there was more talk around the creativity that he has. We knew the running numbers and all the things he did off the ball defensively for the team was of a high level, but the question mark was, can he give more going forward? We want to see him providing more assists, scoring more goals, being more engaged in the attack. I think this season he's gone to another level. Seems to be working even harder than he did before. He's tenacious, he's aggressive in the press, and he's the one who sets the tone for the team. He seems like he's that midfield energy. When I look at him, I think of someone like a Jordan Henderson who, in my time, was running around, he was pressing people. Then someone like an Emre Can was similar, pressing, going around the pitch. When I look at Szoboszlai now, the importance of him in the team is so high. Played right back, played number 10, played in centre midfield. He's doing everything, giving his all for the football club. But you have to give him praise and say, you know what, this guy's taking his game to a next level this season.
He's a playmaker without being in the position of a playmaker.
Let's get some reaction, shall we, from Inter. Henrikh Mkhitaryan is with Gabriel Clark.
Henrikh, a tough night for Inter. Did the better team win?
No, I don't think. I think it was a balanced game. No one deserved to win tonight. I think the best result was a draw, but I don't know how they came up with a penalty which never existed. But this is football. We have to try to do our best to play the next 2 games and to win them.
You're not happy with the shirt pull?
No, we're not. Of course, we're not happy because if you give a penalty like this, then every contact in the box it's a penalty. It's a shame, but what you can do? Nothing.
What did you make of Liverpool? Because they've been under pressure, obviously, with the Mo Salah issue. They showed resolve.
Well, I don't know. It's their problem. We were here to play our game, to try to do our best to win the game. Of course, we knew that they have some problems, but it didn't affect us. We're trying to prepare the game with him or without him, so it didn't change anything.
No, in an attacking sense, what did Inter maybe lack today?
I think a goal. We missed a goal. We missed to create more chances to score a goal. But Liverpool had pressed us very well, and they knew how to play against us. We've created a few chances. Somehow Alisson saved the occasion of Lautaro Martinez, and somehow we missed the chance. But this football, we accept it and we move forward.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Such a great record here at San Siro in the Champions League. They will be disappointed tonight.
Yeah, they will, but I think he's right. A draw would have probably been the best result, looking at what happened in the match. But it happens. Inter is still in a good position to move forward positively. They didn't perform bad at all. It was a solid performance. It was not a great match, especially second half was a lot of mistakes technically. Getting to the end of the first half of the season, so a bit, tired legs, maybe even tiredness mentally. But I think that for Inter, it's not a step back. They just will move ahead from what they've been doing in the last weeks.